Hi, I'm Steve Keeley, Golf Course Superintendent here at Glendale Country Club. And we've seen a previous video where we spoke to Larry Gahuli of the USGA about some of the reasons that the bunkers need to be rebuilt. So I'm here today with Martin Miller, Golf Course Architect, and we're going to go into a little bit about the design process with the bunkers. What's your overall impression of the condition of the bunkers and their playability?
Well, in general, I think that the bunker locations around the greens are really well located. The sizes and shapes, you've got good variety. Where the problems come in, I think, are the steep faces. They're maybe a little narrow and deep, and so because they're deep, the faces are pretty high. And once you get up into throwing sand up onto the top of these faces, the grasses and the edges are starting to deteriorate, so they're just starting to look a little bit worn out.
Well, I know that we've been blasting sand out of some of those bunkers for a lot of years, and so some of those lips have raised way up over time.
Mm-hmm. And then also, you've got some fairway bunkers, especially on the front nine, where they're located in an area where they're more penal to the mid to high handicap golfer, and they don't really come into play as much for the low handicap golfer. And so those, because of the new technology with clubs and balls these days, they could probably be adjusted a little bit.
Or what you're saying is because the bunkers we have today were rebuilt in 2000, so technology with the golf ball and clubs have changed where the average guy's just hitting it further.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to create an area for the mid-level, higher handicap golfer that's got a nice wide landing area where they're not going to hit it into a bunker. But the lower handicap golfers are challenged more when they're trying to go for it. They're hitting a 280 to 300 yard shot. It narrows down.
We have some issues with some of our older members are having troubles getting in and out of some of those bunkers. What do you think about some of those, entry and access points?
I think because they're so deep that they try to find the best place to get in and out of them. It's the easiest. One of the solutions would be to raise the bottom of the bunkers up and get them so that they're easy. The access in and out is easier, and it'll also reduce that steep face that's coming up the front. And so it's a way to solve the problem, two problems in one solution, by raising the bottom up a little bit.
Remember, you'd also spoken about dropping the front side of the bunker a little bit to get better visibility and also, entry and exit.
Mm-hmm.
In and out.
Yeah, Glendale's got a lot of movement in the fairways, and when you get up to the greens, there's some steep slopes, and a lot of the visibility from depending on where you're standing, you want to be able to see into those bunkers, and some of them have a little bit of a rise before you get to the bottom side of it. So yeah, if we could take that, maybe even widen them a little bit.
You'd said that the placement around the greens of most of the bunkers was pretty good. I know that on the 6th hole, you'd spoken about they need to be moved much closer to the green.
Yeah, it's the 6th green, it looks great from the tee. I like the organic shapes that those bunkers have, but they're located so far away from the green that they're on that steep slope coming down, and they're really difficult to get out of. And if you're in the bottom of one of those, you're probably shooting, 8 feet up to get to the green?
At least.
And so I think that those bunkers should be moved closer to the green, keep them shallow. It'll define the edge of the green more. And then downslope from those, we can put in some grass hollows to catch the balls that are hit off to the left, but you're not hitting out of a bunker, looking straight up. And so
So the grass hollows would be there just to catch shots, so they just don't immediately
before they go
run into the creek.
Yeah, before they go into the creek.
Given a blank canvas, how do you rectify some of these issues, with our bunkers?
3 main things, maybe 4 main points would be raising the bottoms of the bunkers up a little bit so they're more user-friendly to get into and get out of. Widening them a little bit so that you're feeling like you've got a pretty good area to hit your shot. That will also reduce the slope going up, so make them more maintenance friendly that way. And again, to shave off the top that's built up over time.
Right now we have sand that goes all the way up, especially when we have an elevation change, like on the left front bunker, number 1, you've got about a 6 or 7 foot elevation change. So you're talking about raising the floor up a little bit and then rolling the sod down part way.
Part way.
Okay, so instead of having a 6-foot elevation change, now we're maybe only going to have 3 or so.
Yeah, it depends, depending on where it is. Around some of these greens, there's some pretty steep slopes. But I think getting those bunkers closer to the green, trying to be consistent with that as well.
Right.
Keep the bunkers a consistent distance from the edges of the putting surfaces, and then working with the elevation of the bottoms of them to make them user-friendly and more maintenance-friendly.
Okay, Mark, so let's put this into realistic visual terms. From a design standpoint, this is the 4th hole. Can you show us, what you're talking about to, achieve the changes that you've described so far?
Okay, this area here signifies the landing area for every golfer, depending on their ability. So this is about 250 right here. This is 250 yards, this dot right here. So you can see that the existing bunker is right in the way where most people are going to be hitting their shots. What we want to do is move this bunker down into this area so that the lower handicap golfer that's going to be hitting into this area right here is challenged a little bit more. If he wants to cut the corner, he's going to be challenged by that bunker. This bunker is going to be, the way it's shown on here, set in more of an angle so you can kind of see it from the tee coming in. And it will also be flashed up here in the back. So you'll be able to see this edge of the bunker. And
so from the tee, you'll be able to see the back side.
You'll be able to see it back like this. So that's the first shot. We want to open this up for the mid to higher handicap golfer and challenge the lower handicap golfer in this area right
So
here.
the average player that hits his drive right here all the time,
Yeah.
they're going to be in good shape.
They're going to be in good shape.
Okay.
So now the second shot coming in to the green, you can see, I don't know if you can see this very well, but this is a contour that comes in naturally like this, and this is a low area right here. So by enhancing this right here and raising it up just a little bit, we can create a shot that comes in and can sort of ricochet or roll off of this mound. So we want to create a little bit of a mound in here, get the golfer going into the green this way. This bunker's a little bit narrow. As we talked before, we might want to widen this out just a little bit and make it just a little bit bigger and more user-friendly for the average golfer. So now they're hitting from here, they're aiming up this side and using the slope as their advantage to get into the golf.
So for the player who keeps the ball more on the ground, they've got another way to play the hole.
Exactly.
All right, Mark, we're looking now at the 8th hole. Can you explain to us some of the changes that you're making in your design on this hole?
Okay, this is one of the holes that has fairway bunkers that are located to penalize the mid to high handicapper. And high handicapper, the low handicappers can blow over these bunkers and get into this area. So again, this is around 250-yard drive right here. So we want the lower handicap golfers to be challenged in this area right here. So what we'd like to do is relocate these bunkers. We want to keep them because they look great, but just shift them up to where they should be with today's technology, with golf clubs and the distances that people are hitting their shots.
So these 2 bunkers are going to go away.
These 2 bunkers will go away.
The fairway bunker on the left and the right movement, so the fairway will actually kind of pinch down a little bit in the low handicappers landing zone.
Exactly. And so, if you do want to take a chance and hit it up into here, you've got to deal with these bunkers. This will be flashed up on this back side. These will be flashed up on this side. So you'll be able to see into the bunkers really well. Second shot coming into the green. What we'd like to do is, these bunkers are well located, but they're narrow and kind of odd shaped in some places. And so, for example, what we'd like to do is take this bunker and bring it down just a little bit so you can see into it better and widen it out just a little bit, give it a little bit more shape on on the edges so you can see into it. Same with these, just give them a little bit bigger area to deal with so that they're more user-friendly for the golfer.
And they won't be as steep.
And they won't be as steep. You can get in and out of them easier. We'll raise the bottoms up a little bit. You'll be able to see the faces, and they'll look similar to what you've got right now. And the challenge will be similar, but they'll be easier to maintain and to get in and out of.